So with AEW Fight Forever, we knew it was gonna have arcadey traits, right?
Yeah.
They announced that day one. When they sat and they announced this game, Kenny Omega came forward and said, "Hey guys, we're working on a game. It's coming, somewhere down the road, down the line. We are gonna pay homage to the classics, the Nintendo 64 games that came before these newer games. All right, we're talking No Mercy. We're talking WrestleMania 2000. We're talking like WCW Revenge. Those are the games that inspired this AEW Fight Forever release. And while it does have Mario Party elements, like Straight Edge said, and its foundation, kind of stems from that arcade feel, this game does have little sprinkles of simulation and, kind of like mimicking the product from real life. It's not a full-blown WWE Battlegrounds, or like it's not a full-blown mobile game where it's like, little chunky,
It is 17 gigs though.
It is 17 gigs, so it's on the lower end, especially for a next-gen title. But when you look at the videos that they've dropped as of late, and you're able to see how clean the movements look. Remember, this is made by Ukes. These are the same people that worked on all the other WWE games since we can remember with THQ. All right? So they are veterans in this genre. So while it's not a full-blown AAA heavyweight game, it's not a little indie garbage, starter up. It's kind of like in the middle. So are you surprised that it's not on the level of some of the more modern graphics? Is that really what stops you from wanting to jump into it?
Nah, I wouldn't say the graphics, because they're going for that art style.
Yeah.
And to kind of reiterate on that too, though, Ukes only really does like the gameplay elements of it, right?
Yeah. Well, they have animations. Go ahead.
Who do they bring in to really do the
like the actual art?
The art, yeah, because maybe they're lacking in budget for that right there. Maybe that's the reason why they weren't able to
do full entrances.
And actually go next gen with the graphics. Because if you look at most games nowadays, I think we've already passed the window when it comes to even having previous gen games. I mean, this game looks like an Xbox One or PS4 game, to be honest.
Well, it does have higher frames.
Mm-hmm.
It has like a clean feel to it from the footage I've seen. But you're right. It lacks the layers of detail that some of the more modern game have. But it doesn't mean that the graphics are bad, because you got to compare it to what they were trying to achieve. Now, they did bring back one of the original directors from the old school games. So I think he was involved with that, along with Kenny Omega and some actual programmers. I don't know the exact information as to who did the whole visual, elements of the game. But I think that it's one of those games that's gonna look a lot better in person than it is in a video. I think the video transition with the streams and the compression, I feel like it doesn't allow us to appreciate it to the full capacity, which is usually the case with even most modern games. But especially one like this one, right? Where you're kind of on the fence and you're like, I know Trout, speak up, because you're hiding in the back. You were one that, was straight up ripping the graphics. You're like, I don't want to mess with that.
Well, it's just like, I'm not a big fan of the arcade thing. I don't know. I think it'd be a good game for get on sale and just when you want to take a snoozer.
Oh. So You guys,
You know how you get past like to an hour part of the movie and then you don't see the rest of it.
oh no. So like the mini games don't look intriguing to you at all? Like you don't have any
Hell no,
interest?
I don't like that shit. And I don't even like that shit in 2K basketball. I do the little challenges and fuck that.
Oh no. He's guys, we have a goner. So here's the way I see it. We already have WWE 2K23 as, you know, the standard simulation mimicking everything from real life and the graphics being what they are, which is lifelike. While this game doesn't have full-blown lifelike graphics, I can't really say that the graphics it does have are bad. And I can't say that they've lied to us. Everything that Kenny Omega said from start till now, along with the developers at THQ Nordic, which fronted the game and helped produce it, everything has been on point. And when I see AEW Fight Forever, I see not only a nostalgia act, but something that was so beloved to the hardcore fans that were able to enjoy those older games, but modernized it in today's day and age. Now, look, this game is a major risk at the end of the day, whichever way you slice it, because there's a lot of people that didn't really grow up or care for those games in the first place, right? I'm talking about No Mercy, WrestleMania 2000, WCW Revenge. That age group is in the 30s for the most part and above, 40s even. So the younger audience that are fans of this new AEW, company, they don't even know what some of those games all look like or feel or are. They've never heard of it. So were you ever a fan of those games, Jalen? Did you ever play those games? Were they part of your childhood?
Some of the older games?
Yeah, like WWF No Mercy on N64.
I played them. They weren't like a deep part of my childhood. Obviously, for me, the earliest memories that I have of wrestling games is more like the WWF SmackDown games. And I played another game, a couple other games on the N64, on the Sega Dreamcast, that were similar in art style, and I enjoyed them, but
they weren't your favorite.
No, I enjoyed them. I wouldn't say they weren't my favorite. It's not like I didn't like them. It's just I'm not from that era. That's the thing. I'm not from that era.
True.
I was raised off of different games. My era was more of the SmackDown.
Here comes the pain and stuff.
More of the WrestleMania games, as well as the Day of Reckoning.
Yeah, for GameCube.
That was kind of like my childhood, right?
Yeah.
So I have a combination of the simulation style as well as the arcade style. I like a combination of that.
So if I were to tell you that this game is
that,
exactly that, it leans a bit more into the arcade, but it still has its fair share of sim style wrestling. Like, it's still a wrestling game at its core. Like, and that's not just me making this up. They've actually mentioned that it's a game that you got to still master characters and moves and things like that. It's easy to pick up, but if you really want to get good at the game, there's going to be a little learning curve as to like what style is a good fit for you. So I don't know. I just feel that some of the hate, like some of you guys are saying in the chat, some of the hate, it's unwarranted. It's ignorant in a way, because if you don't like it or you don't mess with that style, it's totally understandable. You don't like it, fine, but you shouldn't be surprised. And that there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why I said this game, they took a major risk because the targeted audience is for the people that want that old school wrestling game in a modern day format, and they're hoping.
I don't feel like it is though.
they're hoping they could reel you guys in, the ones that are like, second guessing it, so to speak. So you don't feel like it's nostalgic at all?
I feel that it is, but that it's trying too hard.
I'll give you that. I won't deny that. It is trying really hard.
Trying so hard in a way that it almost shoots itself in the foot. It's almost like, why would you even
limit your audience?
Why would you even limit yourself to that when you could have? They didn't have to do the art style like that to get the gameplay that they're gonna get. You know what I mean?
I get you.
Because even back in the day when we had the combination of a simulation and arcade style, which was the shut your mouth and here comes the pain. The Day of Reckoning games, you play those, but you would still be impressed with the graphics, right?
Yeah,
you
for
would
sure.
still look at it and be like, "Damn, this looks really good. This looks up to date."
Especially for that time.
Yeah. Whereas you look at this game right here and you're like, this game looks about like it's 10 years old. Like it looks aged. It looks dated. You know? Why would you purposely go out of your way to make a game look like that? When you can make the game look modern and still have classic aspects to the animations and the gameplay.
Fair enough.
Give us a best of both worlds, right? We're in 2023, bro. I want to see Chris Jericho's little gut, the sled on it. I want to see that shit looking real nice and shiny. Okay. I don't want to see clay figures. Everyone looks like a clay kid, they were made in clay.
Yeah, the art style is definitely one that either you got to try to get used to it or you just got to give in. But to each his own. It's Japanese style too. Yeah, for sure, boy.
It's not unbearable though. It's not unbearable, and it is very, like quote unquote video gaming.
Yeah.
It does look like a video game. I don't know.
Look, man, you don't have to feel bad for that. I'm glad that we're actually talking about it because I want people to see in this very stream and video, if you're watching it later on demand, I want people to understand that, at the end of the day, it's okay to, still be on the fence and not really, be sure if this is what you want. Or I think that being surprised in 2023 about this game that's been shown for a while now and talked about for a while now, being surprised that this is what it is and this is what it's going to be, I think that ultimately, I'm like, come on, bro, you don't have to just hate on it just because it's not what you like and what you want. You just don't want it, don't buy it. That's it. That's all I got to say ultimately, right? What's
yeah.
You could download Created Superstars in WWE 2K23. Go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, we got more AEW content coming to the channel. We got more conversations happening. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. Drop the like, smash it up. Let's get this channel rolling. We're on our way to 15,000 subscribers. We're still shuffling the 10K around. We're at 10,500 now, but I can't get there without you guys. So subscribe. And we're going to be having gameplay as soon as Fight Forever drops day 1.